Media is a mean of expression that has become a part of my everyday life and even influences my perspective of certain aspects of the world, including how I view cities and places that I have never been to. Yet, these perspectives are not always the same as really living in these different regions and experiencing what it's like to live there. In this way, media has altered my view of the world through misrepresentation. Many of my media-based views of the world have changed since entering Cat 2 and seeing how networks and producers manipulate television and movies in order to showcase a reality different from our own. Cat 2, in a sense, has offered a new lens in which to watch television through. I remember watching scenes from Bewitched when I was younger and not really thinking too much about it. After rewatching the show in class, however, I started to notice that the show is not always as harmless as it comes off to be, with the main character Samantha neglecting her upbringing of witchcraft in order to conform to the role of a suburban housewife and homemaker. This motif of the stay-at-home mother and wife can be seen throughout many shows and movies and is mentioned in Mary Harlovich's article, Sitcoms and Suburbs, where she mentions how a suburban middle-class family sitcom of the 1950s and 1960s centered on the family ensemble and its home life with a breadwinner father and homemaker mother. By pushing this family style through television, the people who made the shows made it seem as if this was what a family should look and act like. The real harm comes from people not understanding that not all families are built this way and beginning to believe that this is what all normal families should look like. I used to believe that there's nothing wrong with the show until I noticed the subtle themes that are pushed forward by the makers. Media is able to manipulate almost anything into something they want the public to view and consume. In the 80s, when Reagan was president, the media began to portray Black Americans in any way they desired, even if it was not an actual representation of this community. This movement led to an explosion of television images and photo opportunities that portrayed Black Americans through a specific lens of only living in cities or urban areas and this led to them not having the same opportunities as other Americans. This doesn't mean that you shouldn't trust what you see on television, since not all shows put forward an inaccurate view of the world. Shows like Atlanta offer a satirical perception of real-life struggles that many African American men go through while trying to make a living. It shows that television can actually be used as a medium for expression rather than a form of manipulation and misrepresentation.